Good afternoon, good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. I want to welcome you to another edition of our Leaders and Customer Loyalty series. In this series, we have the privilege of speaking with brand leaders about what they are seeing and hearing on the front lines of customer channel and brand loyalty. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Tyra Neal. She is the Chief Marketing Officer of Vivid Seats. How are you today, Tyra?
I'm great, Mark. Thanks for having me on today and for sharing your story about live events just before we went on here.
Absolutely. As mentioned before, that we jumped on, had a service level issue with Vivid Seats on Sunday, but the way it was handled, the service recovery, the delivery, the performance afterwards was nothing short of extraordinary, especially when you don't have it all the time. So it's sort of serendipitous that we'd have this call this week, but I know we were supposed to have it last week, but yeah, a great job for your team. So was very happy with that.
Awesome.
Well, first off, we like to start these on a personal level, get to know the person we're interviewing in a little more depth. So would love to know a little bit more about you, your history, your position at Vivid Seats, and maybe even a fun fact, a passion that you may have outside of your position.
Yeah, sure. So I've been the Chief Marketing Officer at Vivid Seats for almost a year now. And prior to that, I've held roles in some really big and beloved brands too. Shinola, a kind of darling D2C watch brand where I led growth, engagement, and e-commerce there. And then prior to that, some big brands, Estee Lauder, Luxottica, including Ray-Ban, Walmart. Have had no shortage of work on beloved brands that people are loyal to. And I guess a passion of mine kind of relates to my work though. I'm a big fan of live events, especially sports. My husband worked in sports radio for 20 years. And so we are on a mission to see all 30 MLB ballparks. We've been to, I think, 18 so far, a few more to go. So I will be using Vivid Seats to hit those up.
Okay, that's interesting. I was trying to do that with the NFL. I think I've got last count, I think 16 or 17. Haven't made a dent in that. I'm a big Broncos fan, so I try to go see them one time a year, kind of out of Mile High. So similar passion. That's good. It's good to hear that.
Nice.
For those who may be unfamiliar with Vivid Seats, can you give us a short overview of the company, what you guys do, how you do it, and maybe how you do it differently?
Yeah, sure. Vivid Seats is a ticket marketplace. We've really made a name for ourselves by being, I'd say, one of the easiest ways for fans to discover, buy tickets, get rewarded so they can get to more events more often, like me to the MLB games and you to your NFL games. We've been, I think what makes us different, chosen as the official ticketing partner by really some of the biggest names in our verticals. We're official ticketing partner of ESPN, also official ticketing partner for Rolling Stone. And I would say you highlighted with your experience one of the things that also makes us different, which is not only do we have a best-in-class product that makes it easy for people to buy, we also have customer service that's actually been awarded by Newsweek as one of the best customer service organizations 3 years in a row now. So that's distinct in our vertical.
Absolutely. And for those listening, I had a issue this past Sunday. I bought some tickets on Vivid Seats, big Jason Aldean fan, bought some tickets in the pit. And I got an email later that evening. I needed to call them. The tickets were not available, but they got me comparable tickets, parking pass. Next day aired it to us. And it worked out perfectly because not all of my family wanted to sit in the pit this time. So it actually worked well. But just the engagement, the whole process was smooth, very professional, and there was not an additional charge for me, which was great. Again, it's rare to get that kind of service, anywhere today. And for this to happen last a couple of days ago was amazing.
Yeah, we love hearing that. It sounds like you got the best of our 100% buyer guarantee. We know that it can be a anxiety-filled experience for people buying tickets. They want to go, they want to make sure they get there. They really love these artists and their teams, and so we want to make sure through our buyer guarantee that tickets are delivered on time, that they're verified, that they're accurate. And if there's ever an issue, we're kind of solving it, giving you comparable tickets or even better in some cases.
Absolutely. Loyalty is very important to our association. Music fans, sports fans are some of those loyal fans out there. How does Vivid Seats view customer loyalty? What's your definition? What does it mean to you and your brand?
Yeah, I think loyalty is something we take personally. I feel it as a fan too. Like you're not talking about some categories that people are peripherally involved in. This is one where people, again, like they live and breathe their artists and their teams. That's all they care about. So our loyalty, our view on loyalty is it's built with those passionate and loyal customers in mind. That's why we're really focused on the fan. Our program is built on rewarding that fandom. The more that fans basically cheer on their home team or screaming along with their favorite artists, the more that we reward them in turn. And I think it goes to the heart of the mission of our brand, which is, we really believe in the power of shared experiences to connect people. And we're working to make sure that the fans keep going to the live events that shape their most vivid moments and memories.
Okay, excellent. You do have a customer loyalty program, Vivid Seat Rewards. Can you tell us a little bit about the program, how it works, how you developed it, how long it's been in place, and maybe how it's evolving and where you see it going forward?
Yeah. I think first, it's great to point out that we're the only one in our industry to have a loyalty program at all. So I think that's huge. As I said, we designed this with our avid fans in mind. So it benefits each and every fan, whether you're going to a couple events a year and grabbing friends, or whether, like yourself, you try to take in every Broncos game. There's a vehicle for you to get rewarded along that spectrum. So our fans, they earn reward credits to spend on future orders. Essentially, you're buying tickets from Vivid Seats. When you buy 10 tickets, you'll automatically earn a credit on your account to be used toward your 11th order. And there's lots of ancillary benefits too. So surprise and delight upgrades, access to exclusive events with Rolling Stone, which I know we might talk about a little more here, birthday rewards, a lot of fun ancillary benefits, but essentially, again, it's geared toward keeping people doing what they love. If you love going to events, we want to keep you going to more events. And last summer, we actually just kind of relaunched loyalty with some new changes. We underwent a holistic brand refresh. So brand look, feel, Viz ID, a new app experience, a new website launch, and revamped our loyalty along with that, adding some of those ancillary experiences that I talked about. So surprise upgrades and behind the scenes.
Okay. As you mentioned, you recently rolled out a partnership with Rolling Stone as their official ticketing partner. Can you tell us about the partnership, how it came to be, what it means to both brands and to their customers?
Yeah, we've had a relationship with Rolling Stone for a while, and we're happy to kind of renew our official ticketing partner status with them this year. So we provide, Rolling Stone viewers, readers with access to our platform, making sure that they have access to one of the deepest, broadest selection of tickets, that they have an easy buying journey. And they in turn provide us access to their readers and avid fans. And I think the partnership this year represents a leap forward from where we've been in the past with integrated content. We're talking to some of the fans and hearing about the artists that they love the most, doing fan Q&A, and integrated social posts and things like that. But another key element is that experiential element that we talked about. So through our loyalty program, we surprise and delight our loyalty members, and we invite them to some exclusive after parties with Rolling Stone. We did this for Lollapalooza last year. We did it for Super Bowl in February. And actually, we just did it again at Lollapalooza in Chicago in July. So I think, it's a great way for us with Rolling Stone to connect to that avid music fan and create some of those experiences that they'll never forget. We also, I would say, going forward, always want to look at these mutually beneficial partnerships that we think are going to improve the experience for our customer and create that kind of loyalty with our brand.
Yeah, the partnerships are one of the strongest areas of growth and opportunity for customer loyalty, we believe. Whether it's a hotel partnering with a convenience store or a airline, partnering with maybe Sephora or Ulta for some in-flight surprise and delight offering. It's a unique opportunity. I think there's some obviously challenges with regard to getting them to work and work well, but brands, especially with privacy concerns and those regulations which are becoming more and more prevalent, it's an opportunity for them to expand the engagement with their consumers.
Yeah, and I think as well as I have, and I've seen it in a lot of your content. Privacy regulations have shaped the landscape of marketing and the way people personalize today, but a lot of people are looking at first party data and loyalty as kind of the hedge against some of those things, and asking people to willingly share their information that in turn creates a better, more personalized experience and drives that loyalty.
Absolutely. When you look at that personalization, whether it's content, offering, kind of rewards, incentives, is very important as well. You talked about the partnership you have with Rolling Stone, some of the unique surprise and delight offerings. What other ways are you looking to personalize your reward program, especially with regard to the privacy regulations or concerns that may exist?
Yeah, I would say we're always constantly looking at ways to make discovering and shopping for events easier, with options that help people tailor that to their preferences and kind of personalizing for them. So, one way we do that is in our app, fans can set up their favorite teams and performers, and that's going to power the recommendations that they receive and give them kind of a more personalized experience. You can go and kind of build out your favorites list, and connect our app to Spotify so that you're kind of streaming in your consumption, and we get to see who you love, because you've connected those things and you've given us that consent. And in turn, we make sure that you're never missing the artists that you love when you come to town. So I think those are ways that we can personalize the experience for people. And, it flows through our rewards program with perks, where members get a birthday reward to celebrate their day, among other benefits. So I think those are great ways that we're willingly getting some information from the consumer and in turn providing a better experience.
Okay. And when you look at your customer experience, customer loyalty efforts, how do you measure the success of those efforts? Are there certain KPIs your team works to make sure that, that your loyalty strategy, your efforts are on track?
Yeah, on a broad level, the aim is to foster brand awareness and consumer engagement, and loyalty through the program. That's obviously central to our long-term strategy as we work to build the Vivid Seats brand and kind of move from more transactional to a more experiential kind of outlet. I think, looking at repeat rates, and how that changes over time, that's a key metric for us to understand if loyalty is working or not. While we're still early on that journey, I would say we've seen really encouraging signs. For example, when we wrapped up the NBA and NHL seasons, we saw upwards of 10% increase in repeat rates. And that's something that we're also, it's also encouraging to see as we now move through the MLB season, that we're seeing kind of increased repeat rates there. And that's a very frequent cohort. So loyalty is really important to them and the rewards we offer. I think those are some of the key KPIs that we look at. Like, are we building brand affinity? Are we getting people to come back sooner?
Yeah, I would love to have a conversation offline. I could pick your brain 1,000 different ways, because I would love to know what cohorts are there. Do NHL players more aligned with country music people? Do NHL people buy NHL tickets? Do they also like football? I mean, what are there? I know there could be a billion ways to slice and dice this, but are there some interesting cohorts or co-affinities or causality, or kind of just even kind of matches that come to mind?
It is interesting. There are a million different slices of that, as you said, and we have a really talented CRM team who every day is looking for kind of those correlations and cohorts to be able to kind of cross-sell them the right way. One thing I find super interesting is that actually at the end of 2021, Vivid Seats acquired Betcha, which is a daily fantasy app, and have just rebranded it to Vivid Picks. So this is a fascinating adjacent business for us. People love going to games. They might also like making picks on those games. And we did look, you would think naturally that obviously that's going to appeal to frequent sports goers, but it also has kind of even more appeal to people who are cross-genre shoppers. So people who go to concerts and sports and theater, for example, are more likely to find that an appealing option.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's very, very interesting. I would love to have a discussion about this at another point, because I think with the data sets you have and the personalization approach, it could be quite unique.
It is, for sure. We have a lot of data, and that allows us to make better decisions about putting the right message in front of the customer at the right time.
Absolutely. When you look at the changes from customers, right? We always like to talk to brands about how their customers are changing, how they evolved maybe pre-COVID, going through COVID, and now after COVID. It seems like the entertainment industry is seeing a huge resurgence right now. People want to get out, they want to live life again. How have the changes, and love to know kind of what they are specifically, kind of impacted your brand?
Yeah, obviously COVID, was a period of a lot of change and transformation for Vivid Seats, while live events were effectively almost shut down. But there has been, change coming out of the pandemic, but I'll say even before that, we really were starting to see the secular shift of consumer spending from products into experiences. Like, I think that's a refrain that people have been saying for a while. Memories are in many ways more important than things, and the consumer starting to realize that. So that's been a change that's been ongoing, and we've witnessed it again post pandemic. I think there's just really a strong drive as people emerge from the pandemic, being in front of their screens, being isolated with people, to seek connection and seek some of those experiences through live events, which we see reflected in our purchasing patterns. So for example, we have seen people traveling further to go to their favorite live events and going in groups of larger individuals. So I think it really speaks to the human connection that people want and need coming out of COVID, and how live events can be central and kind of fulfilling that desire.
Excellent. And then the last question I have, somewhat self-serving, what can Loyalty360 do to help your team with your customer loyalty journey?
Yeah, I think that Loyalty360 is a great space to go to get a view on what's happening in the loyalty sector, be inspired by successes of other programs, hear about the challenges that others are facing as they try to engender loyalty. It's important to us because we're always looking at our loyalty program to see, where and how we can offer new benefits, how we can foster engagement and not just transactions. And so there's always, we're always contemplating those kind of things. And I think, Loyalty360 as a resource has been really helpful to the teams.
Okay, great. Well, it was very interesting talking with you, Tyra. Your passion, kind of your focus, your commitment around customer loyalty is great to hear. We don't always hear that. Obviously, being a big sports fan and a country music fan, I have a great deal of appreciation for what you guys do, and you're definitely my go-to source for tickets when I need them in a bind, for sure.
Love hearing that. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and make sure you join us back soon for another edition of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty series. Have a wonderful day.